Here he is, Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Say, is it getting colder out here?
When a cold wind blows, it chills you to the bone.
But there's nothing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Theater Near You. I am your host, Chris Randazzo, and joining me tonight is Snowman Paul Giroux.
Hi, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. I'm happy to be with you on this joyous season.
Festivus. And Bag of Jelly Beans, Sean Doyle.
You can all go to hell.
It's time for A Theater Near You Christmas special. Talking about two of my very favorite holiday classics, Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Family Christmas. Has there ever been a better dishwasher in the history of the universe? Let's find out. But first, Sean, how you doing?
It's been a minute. It's been a day. The whole day's been a day. I don't want to get into that. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Life is good. Today was rough. Life is good. So we're just gonna move on. I have lots of movie-related stuff to talk about, but we'll let Paul chime in on how he's doing.
Oh, yeah. You know, samesies. Samesies. You tell us your movie-related stuff first, Sean.
All right. So I lied to the viewers, to you, Paul, my brothers and sisters. I lied to everybody. I did not get to the movie theater to see Predator. But what I did do was I watched every Predator movie and every Alien movie in preparation of going to watch that Predator movie. And they were just as good and bad as I remember them being. And it's, you know, I'm a fan of both those series. Here's where it really, what really pissed me off about it, the shining thing that's in my craw. I rewatched all of it, even like the short films that they put on the internet, everything. I say I watched it, you know, while I'm doing other stuff, right? It's on. I thought I was preparing to watch the new Predator movie and that new Alien TV series.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I was excited about both. I probably like Alien a little bit more than Predator, but they're both good. I got to the Alien TV series. Like, I got everything done, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do the Alien TV series. I'm going to watch that, and then I'll go watch Predator the movie. I don't know if it matters which order you watch them in. They're not really connected, so I thought it would be fine.
I would say they're not connected at all. Chris, did you watch the Alien TV show?
No.
Okay.
I have seen very little Alien and Predator content in my existence.
Okay.
You saw the first Predator and the
Alien,
first...
Aliens, Predator, Predator 2. That's probably about as far as I got.
Oh,
that's fine.
Well, you know, we're... A's next, man.
For having just said I love them all, as long as you saw Alien, Aliens, and Predator 1, it's fine. Those are the three gems
That's kind of how I felt about it. Like, A's next. I'm not going to pick Alien 3, which my understanding is the most divisive of all of them until I think you get to Prometheus, which I believe was also pretty divisive.
I didn't mind Alien 3 at all.
The Prometheus and Alien Covenant thing, like I don't even know what that was. Like, you know what I mean? Like it seemed like it was Alien adjacent, and I know that, you know, I know that there are things like, all right, that's the ship that they found the eggs in, blah blah blah. But like that movie was just wackadoodle.
So I liked both of those, but I don't feel the need to pressure people into watching both of those because if you're not just a huge fan of that universe, then it's a lot of world building. It takes you back further than you need to go for any reasonable reason, right? It literally goes to like the beginning of the Earth, like 8 billion years ago or whatever, like, and how DNA gets on this planet. Like, it goes far back. It seems unnecessary. But if you love the universe, if you're just seeped in it, then it's nice world building. I know it was kind of divisive, and I get all the arguments against them. I liked them. I thought they both worked pretty good. I thought Covenant could have been a lot better. The trailer teased a bunch of stuff on the planet where the makers are from, and then they did that scene in like a minute, and I'm like, I would have liked a lot more of that. But anyway, I thought those were both fine. Here's my big thing stuck in my craw.
Did I ever tell you my Prometheus story?
I don't think so.
I feel like I probably on the podcast, but it was also probably 2 years ago. So I'm just going to tell it again, and
Do it, Doug.
nobody's going to remember. And if they do, then it'll be a nice treat for them. So this is my story about Prometheus, and I say this every time I scroll past it, like, you know, when you're scrolling Netflix or one of those streaming things and I see Prometheus, like, I always have to make this joke. So we watched it with Sherry and I watched it with her brothers, with her two older brothers, right? And so we all sat down to watch the movie together, and then probably like 10 minutes in, they all get up to go smoke weed. So they go outside and they get baked while I'm, you know, sitting there with the thing paused. And then they come back and we keep watching it. And like, it's already a hard to understand sci-fi movie. And like, they're all stoned out of their gourds, right? And so then the team, right? I forget who's all on that like team of people, right? Like, it's Idris Elba, and then there was you know, the woman scientist, the one that actually gets infected. Like, you know, there was a whole group of people, and like there was like one group that went out to explore the planet. I don't remember what they were called, like Bravo Group or something like that, right? But then Idris Elba and another person stayed in the ship, stayed in Prometheus, and were communicating, you know. And so Idris Elba goes, you know, Bravo team, this is Prometheus, you know, can you hear me? You know, Prometheus calling, or something like that. And Sherry's brother Brett goes, that guy's Prometheus? Right? And I'm like, well, the ship is Prometheus, but I mean, if that makes you happy, like, I guess you can call him Prometheus.
Sure. Idris Elba as Prometheus.
Yeah.
Love it.
So every time I scroll past it, I go, that guy's Prometheus? All right,
Don't make me laugh. I'm trying to rant.
All right, do your rant.
All right. And it's a big rant. Not long, just big in scope. So, I get to the Alien TV show, and I take it you've watched it?
I have, and I have mixed feelings about it.
I have no mixed feelings. I have one feeling.
Okay.
So, I watched like 3 episodes, I'm going to say, and then I was like, this seems weird. Like, when they were like Alien Earth, and then maybe the first episode, it was getting to Earth. And I was like, how's this going to work in? Because the year they slapped up on that one is like, I don't remember now off the top of my head, but it's like after Alien 1 and 2, but before Alien 3 or something like that. Or maybe after 1, but before 2. Whatever. Wherever it falls in the timeline, right?
Oh, I assumed it was supposed to be after everything.
No, it is not. And this is where we're headed. So I was like, when it was Alien going to be on Earth, I was like, well, maybe they're going to like crash on an island. We're going to have a Jurassic Park scenario, and the company's going to cover it up, right? Fine. I like that. That is not what happened. As you know, they crash into like downtown Los Angeles or whatever. I think it's a made-up city, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Like the middle of a fucking city, right? And there's like all different kinds of alien life forms getting out, and it's amongst them is the alien we know and love, right?
Sorry, you said alien life forms, and I'm just imagining an army of Alfs.
Would have made it better.
And now I want to see that show.
Hey,
I'd watch that.
Let's go check out the fridge.
Who's got a cat?
Yeah. Here, kitty.
So anyway, I'm like 3 episodes in, I'm like, how the hell could they possibly warp this back in? Like, it's gotten too big. How are you hiding this, right? Are they nuking this continent at the end of the series to just nobody ever knows about? Is that what's happening? The problem is, I jumped to the computer, to the interwebs, and I had to know, right? So I look it up. And when I look it up, I find this takes place in an alternate timeline and is not part of the larger alien, whatever you want to call it, alien sphere canon. Right.
Well, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I am enraged by it, in fact, and stopped watching the TV show. I was just angry, just enraged, because I was so excited for this TV show. And while Marvel, I feel, got away with doing an alternate timeline because they eventually crashed them into each other, right? So then it does matter, right? You can't just take an IP that I enjoy and say, I'm just going to be too lazy to figure out how to work in the story I feel like writing into the canon that exists. And we're just going to say it's an alternate timeline, and I'm going to expect you to watch it. No, because the main reason, and like I just said to Chris, the main reason I am enthralled into this IP is because those first two were so good, right? But if you're going to be like, well, this doesn't take place in a timeline where all those other movies occur, well, then F it. This is just a whole new thing that I have no interest in. There's 400 other alien, sci-fi TV shows I could be watching. I chose to watch this because I thought it was going to add to this thing that I love. But now you're saying it's not really part of that thing you love. We're just too lazy to come up with our own alien, or just to write a story. Like, they could have basically done this story and just altered it in some way, shape, or form to make it work in canon, right? But it's like, just seems lazy. And I was like, well, I'm not watching this now, and I hate you.
So how much?
That's my rant.
How much of it did you get through?
Like 3 episodes.
Okay.
There's only like 6 or 7 episodes, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long, and I was still like, no, they can't have my views. I will not watch this. They can go to hell.
I sort of feel like it was a story that somebody wrote to be a standalone sci-fi show, and then someone alienized it. Like, someone said, let's make it an alien show and grab the built-in audience of Alien. Like it in and of itself, I feel like it was a sci-fi thing about, synthetic people versus real people and the corporations running the future and blah blah blah, right? Like, you could have done that movie without the xenomorph, but they made it an alien show.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. That's probably why it didn't fit into canon. But even, God, it just annoys me because it's lazy. Because, like, a little bit of rewrite, I could figure out a way to bullshit push that into canon, right, and make it work. You could have just moved the year. Like, it didn't have to be the year they said it was.
Whoa, why is there sound? Hold on. All right, good.
A lot of weird things happened there. It was nighttime. There was static.
I updated a browser, and then it started auto-playing a YouTube video.
All right.
I was fine over here. Everything was great over here.
Stop making noise.
So this is my do message to Hollywood. Fuck off with alternate timelines. Either keep it in canon or get the fuck out.
Oh yeah, I'm very over multiverse stuff.
Well, speaking of alternate timelines, so Chris, you said you're still yet to show your kids Endgame, right?
Right, yeah, we have Captain Marvel and then Endgame.
Okay, yeah.
We're almost there.
So we have in my watch with Nate, we have breezed past Endgame and the next couple things. We watched, Black Widow and Spider-Man and Shang-Chi, and I forget exactly where we are. We're at the point where we have to figure out if we're watching the TV shows or not, right? Like,
Right.
I did show him WandaVision, and he really thought WandaVision was cool, and I really enjoyed watching it again. I wish,
Yeah, it's a good show.
yeah, I wish
the
more
best
of the
one.
shows were like that. I wish more of the shows, like, I thought the coolest thing about WandaVision was, like, it's a story that you couldn't really tell in a movie format, and that they collected all those side characters from those other movies and put them together as a team. Like, I thought that show was so cool. But yeah, Nate really liked it, and then we've watched a couple of these other things, so we're deep in this Marvel watch, and like, what are the things, like, right when I'm kind of like, well, how are we doing this? Are we going to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier next? Like, trying to figure out what that was. He turns to me and he goes, so I read that the X-Men are supposed to be in Doomsday. And I was like, okay, sure. And he's like, so we probably got to watch all these X-Men movies, huh? And I was like, I don't think so, man. Like, I think you're probably fine if you don't. And he's like, yeah, but like, we probably should. And I'm like, okay. So a week ago, we started watching all the X-Men movies. And like, we've been watching like one a day. Like he's really into them. He really likes Wolverine. Anytime like Wolverine goes crazy and like cuts stuff up, like Nate jumps up and he starts being like, yeah, Wolverine. So like, he really likes the X-Men. But then like just so many questions, right? Like it's like wait, so those guys are dead. How are they back? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like,
wait, which guys are dead and are back?
Like, what?
Which guys are dead and back?
Well, I think in order to make it all make sense, because it really seems like the filmmakers did not care about preserving the continuity of X-Men Last Stand. Like I think they were happy to pull some of those characters into other things, but I think they were like, this movie is a mess and it fucked up what we want to do, and we're just going to ignore that. So I guess in order to make Days of Future Past make sense, I think you have to believe that Magneto got his powers back, right? That like the injection was only temporary, and because he is
they hinted at that in the post-credits scene.
Yeah, he's sitting there trying to move the chess pieces, and they move a little bit. So I think you have to believe like, okay, he got like, it just suppressed his powers for a little bit, and then he gets them back and whatever. And then I guess you gotta believe that Professor X transferred his consciousness into a coma patient, and then now that coma patient looks like him.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's just making everybody think that it looks like him with his mind. I think that was the bullshit explanation that they gave. Like he's got his own like perception filter up, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You only gotta like buy into it for like 2 or 3 scenes, and then they rewrite history. So it's okay by me. I mean, it does kind of seem like maybe he'd be more effective at doing anything at fighting the Sentinels if he wasn't taking part of his concentration to make himself look like Professor X. But, I'll just accept it. It's fine.
Look, if I had the option to do literally anything or do literally anything and almost anything and also look like Patrick Stewart, I'm choosing also look like Patrick Stewart every time.
I mean, who amongst us wouldn't?
Especially a younger Patrick Stewart, like next generation Patrick Stewart. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Chris might need
sorry, you were saying.
Well, we're working our way through these X-Men movies, and yeah, like I guess for as many weird inaccuracies as there are, it's still kind of amazing how it still all fits together and mostly makes sense. Like, I mean, I think some of the things that don't make sense you can like excuse away a little bit. And then yeah, they're all a lot better than I thought they were. You didn't
get to Apocalypse yet.
Oh, we just watched Apocalypse today, and actually I was kind of in and out of the room because I was like, all right, you can mostly watch this.
It's a lot better when you're not watching it.
I recently, I talked about it on here, I did a rewatch of everything, including the X-Men ones. And that Apocalypse one stuck out, I think, as the worst movie ever from anything Marvel.
Thank you for that qualifier.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if you remember Zardoz.
Just watch Zardoz, man. No. Of any of the Marvel things. And when I say any, I mean, like, I was stretching. Like, if I could remotely work it in, I worked it in. And I think Deadpool gets you to freaking a lot. You're like, well, I guess this is all pseudo-canon now if all these characters are colliding together from the MCU and the not MCU. It's all kind of crushing together. But yeah, I think that was I think that Apocalypse movie was the worst. Just terrible.
I can't imagine
worse than Elektra.
What?
Yeah, I on the rewatch of Elektra, I'm not saying it was good. and she certainly was not the right choice for that part. But the movie itself, it was fine. Wasn't. Yeah.
All right. Now I know it's
sitting here offended.
I know it's not Marvel. Better or worse than Catwoman?
I never sat and watched Catwoman. I didn't get through it.
I didn't either.
I did.
Yeah, I can't weigh in as to whether Apocalypse is better or worse. I did get through Apocalypse, so I'm going to assume Apocalypse is better, but I don't actually know.
I can't remember the context, but there was something, Paul, there was some Halle Berry movie that you were horribly offended by. Something about Halle Berry doing something and then like yelling, "Call me Joey" or something. I have this very specific rant of yours in my head, and I can't really remember.
I think it was the thing that she like won an Oscar for, right? Was that?
Yeah. You were really pissed off that she won
Monsters
this Oscar.
Monsters Ball. Yeah, is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, make me feel good, make me feel good.
So, I probably wouldn't have strong opinions on Halle Berry either way. She was in some stuff that was good. She was in some stuff that was crap. Except, it's my understanding she showed up and accepted her Razzie for Catwoman.
Yeah, she apparently has she has a very good sense of humor about it. It was pretty funny when she showed up and accepted her Razzie, and like I don't know if those things are in the same year, if they're like,
but they were close,
a couple years apart. Yeah, but like she won an Oscar, and then shortly thereafter she won a Razzie,
and accepted them both with grace.
Yeah,
that makes me like her.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, she's all right. Good people.
Well, speaking of Halle Berry, this was actually one of the things I wanted to talk about. So I can't, like, look, I can't imagine what this Avengers Doomsday is going to be. Like, I hope it's not a big hot mess. Like, it seems like there's a lot of work they're going to have to do to tie in Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four, but like maybe that's going to be most of the movie. I don't know, but when you look it up, it says, yes, several original Fox X-Men actors, including Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Kelsey Grammer, Rebecca Romaine, James Marsden, Alan Cumming, and Channing Tatum as Gambit, are confirmed to appear in Avengers Doomsday. So I'm like, that's crazy. And then I'm like looking at that list and I go, well, how are they doing this without Hugh Jackman, right? Like, how are all these people in this movie and not Hugh Jackman? And then you look up that and it's kind of like, well, maybe he'll be in it, right? Like, nobody, like, he hasn't denied it. Like, he's, just kind of been like, anything could happen, maybe. So like, maybe he's in it. Maybe he's going to make a cameo, But then I was like, well, like, what about Halle Berry? Because like now you've listed a bunch of people from the original, the original early 2000s X-Men. And like Halle Berry did come back for Days of Future Past. So I'm like, is she in it? And then I looked it up and apparently Halle Berry said, hell no. And it's because she worked with Robert Downey Jr. on a movie called Gothica, and apparently he broke her arm. Like, they were doing some, like, heavy acting, and he broke her arm, and then the movie had to, like sort of pause for 3 weeks until she could, like, get back on set. So, that was something I didn't know, but seems kind of interesting.
I remember that movie, Gothica. It wasn't great.
It makes me want to watch it now so I can find this fight where he probably broke her arm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That
I don't know how I feel about that.
That seems like it's the like Hollywood beef that I learned about, that Halle Berry has not forgiven Robert Downey Jr. for breaking her arm, and it's and therefore will not be in maybe the biggest superhero movie. Who knows? I don't know.
All right. I was never a huge Storm fan. The character doesn't mean a whole lot to me, so her missing doesn't wreck my world.
I love the character. I just hated Halle Berry's version of the character.
I think just rewatching X-Men 1, I think they like sidelined her a little bit because I don't like look, I don't know how casting worked back then if it was just like, oh, we think they'll be great and not like, you know, hey, let's try every person and see if they really like mesh with the character. But like it becomes pretty obvious that she was trying to do an accent and couldn't. Like there,
and then gave up for the second one.
Yeah, there are some scenes where she's trying to do some kind of accent, but it is not it is not anything recognizable or like recognizable as South African or whatever. And then there's some scenes where she's just not doing an accent. So I don't know if she was trying and they were like, forget it, or you know. Or if like halfway through the filming, somebody was like, shouldn't you be doing an accent? Like, I don't know what it is, but I think that they minimized her a little bit for those first two movies because it wasn't what they thought. And then they got a different director for Last Stand. And then that movie was like almost all about her.
I like to think that about halfway through, somebody was like, this isn't really working that great. Try it with an accent. And I like to think she was like, but didn't we already film half the movie without an accent? They were like, don't worry about it. No one will
We'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so
wow.
Yeah, that's where we are in our Avengers watch, our MCU watch. Now we've taken a side tangent and we're watching X-Men movies.
Is he gonna want to watch all the Spider-Man? Did you already do that?
We already did that. Well, I don't know. He watched. See, I don't have the Andrew Garfield ones on my shelf, so we watched. He's watched all the Tobey Maguire ones. And
you really got to watch the Andrew Garfield ones before you watch that. This is the other reason I added basically every Marvel movie into my watch order now, because that one Spider-Man movie, if you didn't watch those Andrew Garfield movies, that scene's not going to have any weight. Like, it's not going to matter. And it was a good scene. With the catching of the...
To be fair, I've never seen the second one, but I know the scene. Like, I know what happened, and
right.
I guess I know the story from the comics, basically. So
sure, but like...
It's still really impactful, but yeah, I guess...
The Garfield ones, they're not bad.
No,
there's
problems,
Amazing
Spider-Man
but
was
they're not
bad.
terrible. But if you watch them, and now you connect at least a little bit with this Spider-Man, and you go through that scene with him, and then to turn around, I put those in the watch order, the five Spider-Man movies, the 3 Tobey Maguires and the 2 Andrew Garfields right before that one, right? So you're kind of running right into it. If you watch that and then watch that other scene, it has got a lot more weight. So much better. If you're gonna watch all this other stuff, you got to put those 2 Andrew Garfield movies in there. Again, they're not bad. There's plenty of good to be found in them.
Yeah, I think we will.
I remember liking Amazing, and
Paul
just never
Giamatti
getting
as
around to the second
Rhino
one.
was probably still a mistake.
So the first Andrew Garfield movie is Lizard, right? And then the second one is Electro?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, right. You need to know about those 2 too. Oh, God. Yeah, you got it. It's like, how are you going to watch? Yeah.
Well, we still haven't watched No Way Home yet. So, you know, we got through Endgame, and then Spider-Man Far From Home is the next one after that. So, you know,
then you got to watch Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh,
and I guess
those things? You want me to put those things in there? Like those?
Well, I mean, you got to know for Johnny Storm for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And Blade.
And that joke won't land at all. You got to watch all the Blade movies for Wolverine, Daredevil, and Elektra.
Oh, you're
all
right.
The Wolverine spinoffs.
Okay.
Deadpool pulled it all together. I feel like they really missed their opportunity. People in general like the Deadpool movies. I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan, but I enjoy them. They're very good movies. They're funny. But I know they're very popular. And they were like sitting on the cusp of just in that last one of just pushing it all together and making it happen. And I was like, you could have just done this. You could have got the X-Men in here. You could have just walked off. Would it have been the most satisfying way to bring the universes together ever? No. But I think everybody would have accepted it and moved on without too much complaint.
You know what I think doesn't get the credit it deserves? The Marvels. I thought that movie was a blast.
The fight scenes were great with them popping back and forth.
Oh yeah, that was
a lot of fun. And that ending where she winds up in that alternate universe with freaking Beast, I was like, oh boy, I'm very interested to seeing how this is all tying together. But I'm also very interested to see how they're building mutants, naturally in MCU Prime with Ms. Marvel. That was also a really fun show. But who knows what they're actually going to pull off. They seem to be like in this constant state of course correction now. Like, I was just talking to my friend Adrian, this Wonder Man show, they are sweeping that under the rug. They're not promoting it in any way, shape, or form. They're just dumping the whole thing on, I think in February. January 27th. They're just dumping all 8 episodes.
We probably said this before on here. Did we talk about the Marvels on here? My two complaints, not even, one complaint and one notice. The notice was, I felt like that was the first one you really needed to watch one of the shows. I felt like they were trying real hard to make it so you didn't have to watch the shows, which I'm watching anyway.
Yeah, but you really needed to watch Ms. Marvel and WandaVision.
Yeah,
you
had to watch the shows for that movie to work. Which, again, doesn't bother me. I watch the shows anyway. I just noticed a change there. And then my only real complaint was I thought the villain landed a little flat.
Yeah, she was a little weak.
Not overly interesting, not overly... I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
She's like Malekith levels of villainy.
Yeah, I didn't love Malekith. I thought that was one of the... And I like Malekith in the comic.
Waste Christopher Eccleston like that, too. Like...
Considering
they're not...
Considering this is where I am in the watch, it seems like when you get past Endgame, you have a choice to watch a couple movies or watch a couple TV shows, but by 4 or 5 movies in, then you're gonna have to watch TV shows because WandaVision and Ms. Marvel set up the Marvels. Falcon and Winter Soldier ties into that the newer Captain America movie.
You
could
can't.
Get away with
Thunderbolts. You can't watch Thunderbolts without having watched Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Oh, and even the Hawkeye movie, the Hawkeye show, probably is a little bit informative as far as Thunderbolts because of Yelena.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also that show's just great.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was fantastic.
You could probably skip it. You could probably figure out Yelena, but man, why would you want to?
Yeah, it's a good show.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also curious how much of this abandoned Kang stuff was going somewhere for a Kang movie, and now it's a Doctor Doom thing, because I guess the Loki stuff kind of ties into to Quantumania just with Kang, but like I don't know what kind of seeds they were laying that now they are just course correcting.
I'm sure we talked about this. That's the easiest character to recast, and nobody will say anything. Like, it's fine. Just recast it. Just keep going.
Yeah.
But it would make sense to recast it. It's fine. It's like Doctor Who. It's fine. You got a free pass. Just go ahead.
I mean, one of the things I read was because remember when they showed that council, the Council of Kangs, at the end of the thing, and they were all like different looking. Like there was one that kind of looked like a weird alligator guy, and apparently that was going to be like the next sort of incarnation of the villain. And it's like, why not just do that with a different actor? Like, you know what I mean? Like you already showed that thing on screen, looking like an alligator thing. Just have a different guy look like an alligator Kang.
Not that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Or do Kid... what do they call him? They don't call him Kid Kang. Oh, there was I read that great story. What's his name? The young Kang from the... He's a good guy. No?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know the Brainiac version of what you're talking about, but... Right,
it's basically Marvel's version of the Brainiac move. There's basically... Kang as a kid. They call him something different. I can't think of his name now, but not too long ago I read this great series about like
Iron Lad?
Is that what it is? Iron Lad? That might be
Nathaniel Richards?
Yeah, that's sounding right. The about him like the Kang we know, I guess. It gets real weird with Kang, but whatever. A Kang that's like the ones we know goes and like grabs himself as a youth and tries to turn him into himself, which seems unnecessary. It seems like if you just stayed out of the way, wouldn't that have just happened? But the kid like rebels against it. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. It's this whole big long series that's great, and it leads to this other character being out there that's like this young Kang, and you could just go with that. Just give us that Kang. He kills the older Kang. You only have to see older Kang for a second. It could be a different actor, and then we'll go with Iron Lad. It'd be great.
Well, the other thing I was gonna say, real quick, as far as like movie stuff is, and like, I think nobody's really looking for this from our podcast. Like, nobody cares about our take on current events as we get probably by the time we release this, we'll be farther away from this happening. But I just wanted to say to anybody out there that was a fan of Rob Reiner, that my condolences. I thought that was pretty hard-hitting news, and I guess the other reason I wanted to mention it was because it was kind of weird, because only last week I watched that new Spinal Tap movie. I watched that, and I was kind of just remarking on like what a genius the guy was, and then 2 days ago we get the news about what happened. So I think that was a big loss. I think he's a great director. That like his body of work, I feel like, is kind of unparalleled with like Stand By Me and Spinal Tap and Harry Met Sally and Misery. Like lots of different lots of different genres, all consistently good. And Princess Bride, one of like the best movies ever, I think.
That's the first one I always think of when I think of him.
Yeah, but the Spinal Tap movie, this new Spinal Tap movie, like, look, it wasn't like the greatest thing I've ever seen, but like I was pleasantly surprised, because I feel like you look at something like that and go like, oh, like why try to do that? Like why do that again? You had perfection. But like I thought it was really simple and really effective. When you think about the fact that like all these guys are older now, like quite a bit older. It was like they didn't need to show them going on tour and doing all these things, like the way that the first movie was like out and out insane. This was like, you needed to show where they've ended up next, to sort of get the band back together. So like there was each bandmate sort of in their like current environment as far as like reconvening the band, a la the Muppets or the Blues Brothers or whatever, when you go back around and collect the band, right? But then a lot of the movie was just them in a studio preparing for their final gig. And like now we've all seen the Beatles documentary, so like all that stuff with like the found footage of the Beatles and them in the recording studio, like we now all sort of like know that format as far as a documentary. So like it was real simple, one location for most of it, and then they had this like big final show in this big arena, and like it was simple and it was effective, and like they're all just as funny together as they were 40 years ago. So yeah, the new Spinal Tap movie was pretty funny, and then this news, which is very sad.
Yeah, that's I don't have anything of substance to add to that. It's just tragic all around. That's pretty messed up. But he did a whole lot of good stuff, and he put a whole lot of good into the world.
He sure did,
on multiple levels.
Right. If we can all put that much good in the world will be great by tomorrow. I have one other, just to try to shift off of this sadness. I have one other movie I saw between last time and this time was The Secret Life of Pets.
Okay.
It was great.
Yeah.
It's a kids movie, but I mean,
It was a solid kids movie.
it was a solid kids movie. Like I laughed. I sat there and watched it, and I laughed. It was good. Good movie.
I think the only thing of interest I did was we showed the kids Die Hard. They thought they had an okay time. John was more into it than Ellie.
Ellie seems a little young for it. I like your style.
Yeah, well, it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off Nakatomi Tower.
That's right.
And of course, we did the Muppet movies last night, which we'll talk about in a bit. I was pretty jazzed about the trailer for the new Super Mario movie, Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh yeah, that does look
pretty
cool.
Great. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's it for me. It's just been November was just bananas. November was so full of work, and December's been pretty worky as well. I've got the next 2 days off. I'm pretty excited about
Big win.
making Christmas cookies. I'm making a lot of cookies. I'm being probably over ambitious, but there's a lot of cookies out.
That reminds me, I got containers to bring back to you. Everybody has slowly been giving me back containers. My parents, Bonnie, everybody's got these containers you gave out last year.
Oh.
Give this back to Chris. And I think secretly they're saying, please refill.
Yeah, I mean, we were just going to get more, but okay,
I
sure.
will bring some containers
Please
back.
show up with more containers. Yeah, Greg said he had a container of ours from last year just sitting in his kitchen, and I was like, "Don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine." But yeah, I guess if anyone wants to give them back, that's fine. We're gonna fill them up with cookies. I'm making some freaking cookies. I'm excited.
One quick inside baseball here for listeners to explain what I'm subjecting them to. So apparently last month there was a bunch of tapping, and apparently it's me at my new location sitting at the bar. Apparently it was a lot of tapping. So this month, Chris has put down towels and cushioning and foam to try to prevent that from happening. And a moment ago, while Chris was talking and I was listening to him, my hands, of their own accord, found a pen, I don't even know where that came from, and started tapping it against the mic stand itself. So, despite Chris's best efforts to nerfify my entire surrounding to stop me from doing this, I just, life finds a way, Life finds a way.
Yeah, that's soundproofing stuff. I got some soundproofing stuff because I moved my desk a little while ago, and now I'm next to the air conditioning and heating unit over here, and I feel like there's a lot of noise that doesn't need to be here. So I'm going to be soundproofing a little bit of this soon. And hopefully that cuts down on the amount of background noise. But
I think whenever I picture you guys over there recording from now on, I'll probably picture Sean with like those big foam hands on that are, those hands that are like number one, like just like one of those on each hand, and then like duct tape wrapped around his wrist.
Out of a beer. Yeah. So we're gonna have to try. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to do with this.
all right, let's talk about Muppets because I'm really excited to talk about Muppets. The main event is Muppet Christmas Carol. We were talking about both Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Family Christmas because Paul had not seen it before, and I'm very excited. So let's go over the basics here. Muppet Christmas Carol was released in theaters on December 11th, 1992. It was distributed by Buena Vista Pictures. It was directed by Brian Henson with a screenplay by Jerry Jewell. Obviously adapted from a novel, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Brian Henson is the son of the late Jim Henson, and his other works include Muppet Treasure Island and various puppeteer work in Return to Oz, The Great Muppet Caper, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Jewell's other works include Sesame Street, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and Muppets from Space. The movie stars Michael Caine, David Goles, Steve Whitmire, Jerry Nelson, and Frank Oz. It tells the story of a crotchety old man who sees dead puppets and learns the true meaning of Christmas. It's the first Muppet production created after Jim Henson's death. Meanwhile, A Muppet Family Christmas originally aired on ABC on December 16th, 1987.
And was promptly forgotten.
And was probably forgotten by almost everyone but me. It was directed by Peter Harris and written by Jerry Jewell. Harris's other works include episodes of The Muppet Show, Stay Back, and Spitting Image. The movie stars Jerry Parks and just about every Muppet imaginable. It tells the story of Fozzie and his friends going to visit his mother in a cabin in the woods for Christmas. There's an icy patch. Hilarity ensues. So the last night we did a double feature. Me, Karen, and the kids watched Muppet Christmas Carol via my awesome Blu-ray, which has this wonderful bit where whenever you pause it, it does Christmas carols with various Muppets. And then the kids went to bed, and me, Karen, and Greg watched Muppet Family Christmas via my awesome bootleg DVD, which I look forward to talking about in more detail. So, what do you want to do first, Christmas Carol or Family Christmas?
Let's do Christmas Carol.
All right, Muppet Christmas Carol. So,
Great. Done. Okay, Muppet Family Christmas.
I watch this movie every year, and have watched this movie every year since, I want to say, 1997? So I was working at the Funko Land in Mays Landing, and one year, so this was 1997, 1998, around this time, that was when Black Friday was Black Friday, that was when it was a thing, when there was no internet shopping, it was all just crowds into stores. So I'm working in Funko Land. My manager at the time was this dude named Alex Conaway, and he brought in his VHS copy of Muppet Christmas Carol, which I had never seen before, and he put it on, and it just looped all day long. That was the whole thing all day long. It was just Muppet Christmas Carol on loop while we dealt with the insanity of Black Friday. And it was one of the most fun days ever. I loved working Black Friday back in the old days. I loved managing the crowds. I loved standing up on the counters and trying to direct people and just having a lot of fun. And having Muppet Christmas Carol in the background was a blast. I immediately fell in love with it once I started hearing the music. And it just kind of stuck in my head, obviously, because I had been listening to it like, geez, it was a long shift. So I must have heard the movie like 8 times, 7, 8 times during my shift. Like it was bonkers. And it just kind of became a tradition with me every year on Black Friday, no matter where I worked, Muppet Christmas Carol would run on loop. Like eventually I worked at Toys R Us. And so I would grab a small TV from like the security cameras and hook a VCR up to it that I'd bring in from home. And I just play Muppet Christmas Carol all day long. Like, no matter where I worked, Muppet Christmas Carol was on all day for Black Friday for years. And then it eventually, narrowed down to, instead of watching it all day, I would just watch it at least once a year. And I have ever since. This year was particularly fun for me because the kids are getting to these, they're starting to like appreciate narrative television and movies a bit more. And so as they get older, it's fun watching them get more out of things. And I thought this year something's going to click with them. I feel like this is the year. And boy, oh boy, we're sitting on the couch watching this last night. We ate dinner in front of the TV so we could watch a little early. And as soon as the kids finished their dinner, they Ellie sat on top of me and John snuggled up next to me. And I'm like, this movie tugs at my heartstrings. Besides it just being my absolute favorite version of A Christmas Carol, bar none. The music is so good, and I have all this nostalgic connection on top of it just being good to begin with. So this movie just wrecks me whenever I see it. So I'm getting all misty-eyed during the songs, and I'm singing along, and I am just filled with Christmas cheers just oozing out of my ears. And then I got the kids snuggled up with me, really enjoying the movie too, and laughing along to all the jokes. Like John in particular, this is the first year that he really laughed at all the little jokes, specifically the Rizzo and Gonzo stuff, which is so freaking good. I just, in the beginning of the movie where he starts talking about what's going on inside, he looks at the window and says, geez, this really is a dirty city. And then he just grabs Rizzo and starts cleaning the window with him. And he's like, thank you for making me a part of this. And John's just cracking up. And it's like, this is the most perfect Christmas moment for me imaginable. The whole movie watching experience was an absolute treasure. And this movie holds up. I've got very few complaints about the way it's shot, about anything. The Blu-ray doesn't seem to have the extended version because there's a whole song cut out of the theatrical version. I have a DVD somewhere that has the extended version, I think, but the Blu-ray doesn't seem to have that. The song's not super great anyway, so it's not like you lose a whole lot. But still, I'd prefer to watch more of it if possible.
So I only learned about this song last night. after I finished the movie, I watched some YouTube clips, specifically because I wanted to see if I could find any interviews with Michael Caine talking about the Muppets. And there actually were some.
Did you?
Yeah, there were some pretty funny things. Yeah,
there's some good stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also like the serious ones with him talking about the Muppets that I love that so much that Michael Caine was just like, I'm not playing this with an ounce of comedy because they're the comedy. They're already funny. So if I'm trying to be funny, that's going to be dumb. So he played it as serious as possible. Like he was performing freaking Shakespeare. And that's what makes this work so well, is that all the human actors, specifically Michael Caine, took it absolutely seriously. And I love that so much.
Oh, yes. I have a lot to say about that. But I guess what I was going to say was, yeah, I saw the thing, I think it was on a video about like 10 facts you didn't know about Muppet Christmas Carol, but the thing about the song that got cut. And I didn't go back and watch the song, but it looks like it was a song that happens at the end of the Ghost of Christmas Present section.
Ghost of Christmas Past, it's Belle sings it.
Oh, right.
It's basically like the initial, like the full version of that "The Love We Found" song.
Right.
I totally get why it was cut.
Well,
it grinds the movie to a halt.
Well, what they said was that it like the song makes the scene after it more impactful, and it also gets called back to with a song at the end. But they said when they tested the movie, people complained about the song because it was too sad and Muppetless. So that was the quote, that the song got cut because it was too sad and Muppetless.
And they're not wrong. It's a very pretty song, but yeah, like towards the end of the movie, they sing this "The Love We Found" song, and it's kind of like it's a callback to that, but it works perfectly fine without it. But you're right, the scenes immediately after it, especially the scene like as the scene happens and she walks away, like Rizzo and Gonzo are crying, or like I think just Rizzo's crying, and it's like, well, this wasn't that sad. She just walked away. But, like, you don't really get that she's leaving for good without that song, unless you already know the story. And it works just fine without it. But boy, it does grind things to a halt. It's just like you get there and like, all right, can you wrap this up, please? Because this is it just ruins the whole momentum of the movie. Like, I don't think the test audiences were wrong in that instance. But I don't mind it because I've seen the movie so many times that it's like, sure, put it on, throw it in there.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Should I go next?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about this all night long, so you guys should talk.
Jump in with my point there. Wait, my main complaint, my one complaint about this movie, and I don't know that I realized it before watching it, because I've seen it plenty of times. Not as many as Chris, but I've seen it plenty of times. We were just talking about the Ghost of Christmas. That song's at the end of the Ghost of Christmas Past, right? Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That ghost is too creepy.
Oh, boy.
Like,
that ghost is frightening.
They managed to make the Ghost of Christmas Future not that creepy. I mean, it still looks like the Grim Reaper a little bit, but like they toned it down a bit. They were like, we got a bunch of kids running around in here. We don't have to make this thing horrifying, right? And they did a good job of that. The Ghost of Christmas Future is the perfect level of creepy. The Ghost of Christmas Past it did not need to be creepy, and it's just horrific. That's the one real bad call I think they made in this movie. They could have done that one different.
I always wondered about the effect. Like, it looks like it's underwater.
So I learned about this in that video that I watched about like 10 things you didn't know about Muppet Christmas Carol. So they built that puppet and then they puppeteered it in a tank of baby oil, which is why it has that weird, like, flowy moving effect to it.
Right.
And then the baby oil was ruining the puppet. So then they switched to a tank of water. And like, as they were doing it, the puppet was like slowly degrading and falling apart. And they just happened to get all that they needed before the puppet like completely dematerialized.
Well, it's good to know that puppet doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I'll
that
sleep
thing's
better
nightmare
tonight.
fuel. Yeah, I have, like I said, I have very, very few complaints about this movie. There's the scene where the bell starts ringing when he's sitting by himself eating. Once the bell starts ringing, it does that weird jump cut thing where it's like, there's the bell, a little closer, then a little closer. It's just a weird shot. I don't think I think it was an unnecessary thing, but yeah, I guess that was the style at the time. I can't really think of any other major complaints I have about it. It's just everything about it just seems so perfectly put together. There's so many jokes in there that are subtle, so many jokes that are obvious, and it all just meshes beautifully. All the puppeteering is great. It is kind of weird that Sprocket from Fraggle Rock is just kind of like in the movie,
Yeah.
but again, it's not really a complaint. It's just why the hell not?
It seems to be more like a not a dog.
Yeah, he's there.
Look, when they did,
He is a dog.
when
but he's
they
not
did
acting like
those
Sprocket.
big scenes, when they did those big group scenes, and this is in every Muppet movie, they were grabbing every goddamn puppet they made for
Every
anything
puppet they could find.
like,
yep.
you know what I mean? And like, they still had to make a couple of background puppets, but they're like,
Oh, for sure.
all right, let's grab everything we can. I mean, I saw that turkey from the Christmas, the Muppet Family
Yeah.
Christmas in it. I saw the snowman. Like,
Yep, the snowman was
yeah,
there.
they were grabbing every puppet that wasn't glued down when they made one of these movies.
And I love that about it, the kitchen sink approach, and it all just works.
Yeah.
And like Miss Piggy doesn't have a super big role, but what she does have, I think, is handled wonderfully. I've never been the hugest fan of Robin as a character, but him as Tiny Tim is pitch freaking perfect.
Yep.
This is I think it was Brian Henson doing Kermit in this one, if I remember correctly.
I think it's Steve Whitmire. I think he took it on after. Well, maybe it's Brian Henson. I don't know. I thought Steve Whitmire was pretty much consistently Kermit after Jim Henson died. I think Brian Henson is Robin, though, isn't he?
I think so. I'm looking this up now. Steve Whitmire was Rizzo, Bean. Oh, Steve Whitmire was Kermit. Yeah.
Okay.
Beaker, Belinda.
Well,
I'm Bettina.
that's the
Whatever.
So I really like this movie, and I enjoyed watching it, and I think it's an interesting movie to talk about. I did not watch it on the Plex. I did not. He seems to be doing some work on the Plex, so like sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. And when I went to go watch it, I couldn't get it. It was down. But I went to Apple Movie Library, and it was like $3.99 to rent it and $4.99 to buy it. So I was like, all right, looks like I'm buying this movie for an extra $1. It was really interesting. Look, when this movie first came out, I'm not going to say I didn't like it, but I didn't love it. And one of the reasons I didn't love it, I think, was because it was really the first one after Jim Henson died.
Yeah.
I think you were
sounded different.
Yeah, you were left with that, like, oh, that's not my Kermit, But like watching it now, I'm like, well, Steve Whitmire did Kermit for probably longer than Jim Henson did, like,
yeah,
like now that's the voice that I associate with Kermit. So, that was a really, interesting experience, I thought.
I don't think I gave it even a chance when it came out. It seemed wrong to me because like this was I'm going to say the first, but I think it's the only. This was the first time the Muppets were doing, like, it wasn't their movie. Like, they were doing a Christmas Carol.
Right.
And I was just like, I don't think I like this. It was like a weird branding thing, like when Magic cards come out with, Avatar: The Airbender magic cards, and I'm like, I don't think that's what I want.
As soon as you said magic cards, it's like, that's exactly what I was thinking. The Avatar magic cards. That's weird.
That's weird.
It's really weird.
Why are you doing this? So yeah, I think I felt about it like that and wasn't interested. Just didn't even give it a try. Didn't watch it when it first came out.
Well, you're right. I think that is another thing that I had a hard time with when this movie came out, right? Because the first three, Muppet Movie, Great Muppet Caper, and Take Manhattan, like, yes, those are all original stories with a Muppet ensemble, like featuring the Muppet ensemble, right? And then the two that Brian Henson produced right after Jim Henson's death was this one and Treasure Island, which both had this format of like, now we're gonna tell a classic story with Muppets and real people actors. And again, I think both of those things I shrugged off a little bit, but now I love them both. I love Christmas Carol, but I also I think Muppet Treasure Island is fun too. Like,
yeah, that's a really good one.
I love Tim Curry as Long John Silver. Like, that's like these casts with like Michael Caine as Scrooge and Tim Curry as Long John Silver. Like, you can't beat the casting choices of these things.
I thought that was a really cool format. I remember I don't remember why I didn't see this movie when it first came out, because I've one of my family traditions going all the way back as far as I can remember was Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol. And I think there was a piece of me that was just like, there's no way this is going to be better than Mr. Magoo, so why bother? Even though I love the Muppets, and there was definitely a twinge of that whole, like, well, this is them without Henson. It seems kind of weird. But then again, I also really liked, I think the first Henson-related production that came out after he died was Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, and I loved that movie. So I'm not really sure what my hang-up was specifically with the Muppets, but yeah, I didn't see it until working at Funko Land.
Please, Vanilla Ice carried that movie.
He certainly was in it.
He certainly was.
Ernie Reyes Jr. carried that.
Oh yeah, and Surf Ninja.
Yeah, Money Can't Buy Knives.
Money Can't Buy Knives. No.
Where did that format go? Why aren't we doing more Muppets, putting Muppets in existing properties? That's what I
don't know.
Sang Sue's The Art of War, Muppet style.
Yeah, I think this movie is great, and I think it's such an interesting movie, and I think it's I've mentioned movies like this before where I think the circumstances all kind of line up in this perfect way to make this really like special piece of art, right? So here's my take on Muppet Christmas Carol. I've seen a lot of Christmas carols. Like I've worked on a lot of Christmas carols. I've seen a lot of Christmas carols. If you're a company and you have a stage and some lights, at some point you're going to get the idea that you should do a Christmas carol. And like,
I was at the bar the other day and the Christmas Carol cast came in and started rehearsing.
Yeah.
GSB. And like, I had to go.
Yeah. Like
this is a lot.
Welcome to this time of year. There's a lot of Christmas carols out there. I mean, like, what I worked at one theater where Christmas Carol was their big moneymaker, bread and butter over the holidays. They would do two casts. So one cast would start rehearsing, and then when it went into tech, the other cast would start rehearsing in the rehearsal room with the assistant director, all the exact same blocking, right? So you had two companies. It was the Holly Company and the Ivy Company. So each one did 8 shows a week. So there was 16 shows a week of Christmas Carol with 2 casts, 2 different crews. And then if there was kids in it, which, like, it's Christmas Carol, so you got to have kids in it. Kids can only do 4 shows a week. So then you had to have had to have four companies of kids.
Holly Kid A, Holly Kid B, Ivy Kid A, Ivy Kid B.
Yeah, like it's a lot. And then like the other thing is like, because Dickens' book is public domain now, right? Like nobody wants to buy the rights to somebody's script to do a Christmas Carol. It's always like, oh, like we got some writer on staff, or, the artistic director is gonna, make their own adaptation. And then like everybody's doing a different adaptation of Christmas Carol. Like I've worked on a bunch of Christmas carols, and when you do Christmas Carol over and over again, especially if like this is a thing that you work on a lot, everybody's always like, how do we make it different? And like, also, if you do it a lot, then because you know it so well, it starts to become like self-referential, and you start being like, like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we did this with, like, what if we made the Ghost of Christmas Present an actual Christmas present, or like, what if we, I don't know, what if Christmas Future had a weird bird guy that lands on his shoulder and like flies around and stuff? Like, I'm saying all things that like people have actually said in front of me, right? So I found that the most effective way to do Christmas Carol is to just do it like it's written, right? Like, not a bunch of weird different stuff. Like, it's a morality play. It really only works one way, which is to be like straightforward and just do it, right? So I think they figured that out with this Muppet movie, right? Which makes it a little bit of a different Muppet movie. Like because Michael Caine is just up there acting his fucking face off in a way where, he could play Scrooge like in like the greatest Christmas Carol production ever. Like you've got this thing where you're really not doing a Muppet Christmas Carol. You're doing a Christmas Carol with Muppets, like you are doing a good Christmas Carol production, and it just happens to have a supporting cast of Muppets.
When you think about it, other than Gonzo and Rizzo, most of the other Muppets are playing it straight.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're Muppets, so it's a little silly, but they're not hamming it up.
Yeah, like Miss Piggy is, but that's kind of it's kind of the joke there.
And that might even be her sedated. You're dealing with an actress who soap opera.
And I almost could have taken a little less of Gonzo and Rizzo, right? Like I almost think that you didn't need all of the exposition everywhere that they put it. Like, it certainly was funny when they threw the grappling hook on Scrooge and they followed him with the ghosts.
Nothing.
Like that, I think that was good to keep the storyteller as part of the story wherever it went. But like, I didn't think you needed as much of it. But at the same time, then you're missing a thing that's aimed squarely for the kids, which is the Gonzo and Rizzo stuff.
It helps keep kids engaged in the story.
Well, and then the other thing is, if you take out all the Gonzo and Rizzo stuff, it would have been like a half an hour shorter, and it wouldn't have been a feature-length movie. So,
and it would have been half the jokes. Yeah. Half the jokes for them.
Yeah, half the comedy's them. I thought the way they peppered them in was absolutely brilliant. And they provided exactly enough levity at exactly the right moments for kids not to get too disturbed or too bored by the rest of what was happening around them, and keep them engaged in the story. It helps with the pacing so well. And it's also genuinely hysterical stuff.
The thing I laugh so hard at is when Gonzo, like, they're telling the end of the story, and Gonzo goes, and Tiny Tim, who did not die. Oh, it's just the way he says it. It makes me laugh so much.
I've always been a very big fan of the light the lamp, not the rat.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. The jelly bean thing.
And I mean, I think those are Dickens' own words, right?
Between those
like,
bars.
Tiny Tim who did not die. I think that's the way that Charles Dickens wrote it. But then just the way that Gonzo delivers it is so good.
I think that's how Charles Dickens heard it in his head. Did not die.
I've always wondered if the impetus behind this in the first place Like if Brian Henson was reading A Christmas Carol and saw Fezziwig and said, Fozziwig? That's like, we should do a Muppet Christmas Carol. Because like the fact that there's a character, a Fezziwig, which is so close to Fozziwig in the original, is hilarious to me. I also love that they made Jacob Marley, Jacob and freaking Bob Marley.
Oh yeah, they say Robert Marley, but
it's
that
Jacob and Robert Marley. It's like really
Marley.
Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Just God, using Stadler and Waldorf for that, and that whole musical number is great. As the chains keep getting more and more chains on them throughout the number. That scene is so brilliant. First off, I think it's Waldorf. I can't remember which one's which, but whoever of his face is the knocker is hysterical looking. Like, it is so goofy that face becomes the knocker. But then that whole scene is played for so much comedy, but the sharp turns between the comedy and the drama in it, of like the terrible things they're talking about, how they're laughing about all these evil deeds, but then their reactions to it, of like the actual torture of being wrapped up in these chains, and telling Scrooge that he's doomed for all time, is it carries so much weight. There's so much in all those performances from the puppets. That's another one of those really, really complex scenes that works so well. It toes that line between comedy and drama so brilliantly, which is so much of what this movie does, top to bottom, really. But that's one of those scenes that really that's always stuck out.
I think Michael Caine is really the thing that can reroute the like funny, like the funny, silly, weird, goofy stuff into being A Christmas Carol again, right? Because like yeah, those two ghosts are just outlandish, and it'd be really easy to just, for the movie to go off the rails right there. But like, Michael Caine is the one, like he's reacting to them like they are, his dead business partners, not Statler and Waldorf, and Michael. And
you also had Gonzo before that reminding the audience, remember that they were dead to begin with, because otherwise what happens next would not seem as wondrous, or whatever the words are. Right. I can't believe I can't remember them. I know this movie so friggin' well.
And like then when Michael Caine has to say a thing that's silly, he still says it in this serious way, which makes it even funnier to me, I think. Like when he goes like, oh, that's Mr. Fozziwig's rubber chicken factory.
Yeah, rubber chicken factory. He says it like it's Shakespeare. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's so great. Yeah, I liked Mr. Fozziwig's rubber chicken factory. And then I also got a big laugh when Sam the Eagle was the
oh my God.
was the headmaster. And then he's like, he says something to him and he goes, it's the American way. Yeah. And then like they whisper in his ear and he's like, it's the British way. Oh,
I love that visual effect too, when I think it's it's right around there. Is it the Ghost of Christmas Past? I think that takes away when they do the really cool visual effect. It's a simple thing where like they just take the background and do that swirly thing to it. But boy, that really works.
Well, the other thing that I think was really effective and really smart for making it a good movie, for making it a very watchable, enjoyable Christmas carol, is I think it made more sense for the ghosts to be puppet ghosts, but not Muppets. I think filling out the cast with the Muppet ensemble, the supporting characters, was smart. But I think if you had those Muppets be the ghosts, it would have undercut the story. And I think that that first ghost being creepy or not, I think those three ghosts as original puppets was hugely important to the success of this.
I agree. Like, yes, I do agree with Sean that first one is creepy as hell, but that doesn't really bother me. I kind of like how eerie that is because I think I believe it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's this weird, unsettling thing because the whole point of like being visited by the ghost is supposed to be unsettling. And I love Michael Caine's delivery of like, but you're a child. It's so, and then like kind of learning like, oh no, I'm hundreds of years old. It's so weird. I take it as it's really supposed to be eerie. And I think it works extremely well. I do think it's nightmare fuel, but I think it works brilliantly in the context that is presented. And that visual effect is super wild, the water.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one's a 10 out of 10 for me. I have almost no notes. It's brilliantly done, top to bottom, floor to ceiling. I'll continue to watch it every year until I'm dead.
I agree. 10 out of 10. It's the Christmas Carol. If you see one Christmas Carol this season, this is the Christmas Carol for you. And only note is creepy baby. Creepy baby.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about it. I feel like I've covered most of it. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's good.
The conversation, the last thing I'll say about it, the conversation on the present goes to Christmas Present towards the beginning, where it was clear that he was just living in the moment, couldn't remember like a second ago or the few like that. There was a couple quick back and forths there that were really cleverly.
Yeah. And the way they showed the puppet aging, or the puppet, yeah. Is that technically a puppet anymore? It's more like a guy in the suit. It's like a Gorg.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
10 out of 10 for me too.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of Fraggles, Paul, I'm dying to hear what you thought of Muppet Family Christmas.
Yeah, it was okay. I'm just so why has this movie been lost? Like, why has this been lost to time?
I have to assume. All right, so the first chunk of it actually comes down to music. There was an official DVD release, I believe, in Canada at one point, but it cut out a bunch of the songs because a lot of the Christmas carols that are sung in the movie are not in the public domain. So the DVD that I have of it, this is now on the Plex. Evan has a clean version. The whole thing is clean. The DVD that I have is something that I bought off of eBay that somebody spliced VHS recordings into the DVD recording to make it the uncut version where you hear all the songs, which is extremely important because, boy, some of the best stuff is just totally missing from the one that's cut down. And now I have to assume that currently the reason it's not out there is because Muppets, Sesame Street, and Fraggles are all owned by 3 different entities.
Gotcha.
What? Wait, Muppets are owned by Disney. Somehow HBO bought Sesame Street.
Yeah, although now Sesame Street's on Netflix, and Fraggles are Apple.
Fraggles are Apple?
Jeez.
Yeah. So and initially, I don't know why this didn't make it onto VHS earlier or some sort of official release earlier, other than the fact that a lot of TV movies just didn't get that kind of treatment back then. And then by the time DVDs were happening and things got dug up, there were music rights and nobody wanted to pay for them. And now we are where we are, which is a freaking tragedy because I think this is such a special piece of television history right here. This is the only time Muppets, Muppet Babies, Sesame Street, Fraggle Rock, and Jim Henson himself are in the same place at the same time. It's pure magic. Maybe the beginnings could be a little slow, but by the time the Sesame Street characters show up, there's so much just great comedy in this. It's short. The Christmas Carol bit at the end goes on a bit too long, but honestly, who the hell cares? There's just so much magic here, so much chemistry, all the original voice cast doing all these original parts. But yeah, I those are my assumptions as to why it was lost. Obviously, nobody's made any official comments on it, but it's a shame that it's not more common.
Well,
I think
that's a good answer that I didn't even consider. Like, I didn't even consider the whole issue of rights. But that you're right. That's probably why. But like, yeah, it is shocking to me that this thing feels like it's been like lost to time. Because I remember watching what do you call it? Muppets Take Manhattan, where there's the Kermit and Piggy wedding at the end, and all the Sesame Street characters show up to the wedding, so the pews are filled with Muppets and Sesame Street characters. And like, I remember somebody I was watching it with being like, oh wow, like that's your whole childhood in one room right there, like, and like thinking like, oh yeah, like that is kind of a really like meaningful moment in like Muppet movie history. But like, this tops it and like completely blows past that and more, like yeah, you're right. Muppets, Sesame Street, Fraggles, Jim Henson, yeah, and Muppet Babies, all in the same thing. Just like, and you said that Christmas Carol part at the end goes on a little long. Like, all right, sure, I think you're right, but like, what seems absolutely staggering about that is the sheer number of Muppets in one space.
There,
like,
all being puppeted.
That must have been a massive puppeteering undertaking. Like, I don't like even with some of these movies where the screen is packed with Muppets, like it still didn't seem as detailed as that as that scene right there.
Yeah, and that's probably why they did all those Christmas carols. Like, well, we're here. Let's do this. Let's maximize as much of this as possible. And yeah, it's the interactions. It's the fact that like the Sesame Street characters show up, and the first joke. I mean, obviously, besides the icy patch, but the first proper joke when they're talking to Doc, but Bert and Ernie, like, where we come from, this is small talk. It's just,
yeah.
I remember being a kid, right? I grew up on Sesame Street, but I was obsessed with Fraggle Rock, and my mom told me that there was going to be a special airing tonight that has the Fraggles in it, and I was like, well, we gotta watch it. So I remember watching this, live on TV when it originally aired, and just being like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then nobody I knew watched it. And for years, nobody I knew had even heard of it. And I thought I imagined the whole damn thing. And then, I eventually find this DVD of it existing in the world, and I finally get to see it again. I'm like, this is exactly as good as I remember. And in fact, it's even better. But yeah, the interactions with the Sesame Street gang with the Muppets together, like, that's one worried frog. One worried frog.
Yeah.
It's like, count, you're a dick. And the humiliating Bert and the Christmas pageant, and the Grover with the why are you holding the bowl? So you can see that I'm not stirring. Come on. That's such a great gag. Watch out for the icy patch, but honestly, the thing that kills me in this, probably more than anything, and I don't know why, it's just in the delivery. It's when Fozzie finally introduces Kermit to the snowman, and he's like, you gotta meet my new partner. He's a snowman, and Kermit just says, the heck you say. I don't know why that cracks my shit up. It just kills me with his just matter of fact, the heck you say. Absolutely wonderful. Oh my god, I couldn't love this more. Again, like, the beginning of it is a little, the setup is again a little slow. It's just kind of your standard Muppet fare before it gets really special. But whenever I would tell people, oh yeah, it's the thing. Don't you remember the thing where the Swedish chef tries to cook Big Bird, and people would look at me like, no,
that didn't happen.
But it did happen, and it was hilarious.
Chris told me about this last year. I think we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah,
that was the first time I saw it. And I probably said this last year, the same feeling. I feel like I got cheated out of a small part of my childhood by not seeing this before now. Because I remember when I was a kid, when there was a crossover, it was a big deal. Like you said, when the Muppets showed up or the Sesame Street characters showed up at the end of the Muppet movie, that was a big deal. Roger Rabbit was a big deal. I remember some anti-drug cartoon that had like the Ninja Turtles and the Smurfs and I don't remember,
Yeah,
maybe,
no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. And that was a big deal. It was like, oh man, there's like 10 different characters in this. They're all crossing over. And that thing was terrible. It was just some sort of anti-drug, Reagan era, nonsense, poorly written, just anti-drug ad. But it didn't matter because it was every character and it was the biggest thing. It was like, oh my gosh, everybody's crossed over. This is crazy. So I would have freaking loved this as a child. It's good. It's a good holiday movie. I like it. It's solid. I'll probably go show it to Maggie this year. She knows who the Sesame Street guys are, and she knows who the Muppets are, so that'll be fun. But I just totally never heard of it, never saw it. And you're at least right in the first part for sure. TV movies back then didn't get VHS treatment. Like even Garfield's Halloween special, I don't remember ever seeing that on VHS. I eventually got a DVD copy. We recorded it off TV. I had it on VHS for years, but that was just I recorded it off TV copy. Things like that just didn't. They didn't have that secondary market set up for them, whether it was rights or whatever. And then by the time it did, I mean, I probably got that DVD of Garfield's Halloween special probably in the late '90s. I think people started going back and putting them out, but by then, got music to deal with.
Yeah. And which is wild to me that so many of these songs are still not in the public domain. Like Sleigh Ride. That whole scene where Fozzie is singing Sleigh Ride with the snowman is cut in the one official DVD release because Sleigh Ride is owned. It's like, I think Happy Birthday there's a whole story and there was an episode of the Sports Night. It's a great show, an Aaron Sorkin show. Mm-hmm. There's a whole episode about where they got into trouble for singing Happy Birthday on air because Happy Birthday was owned by the estate of Mildred and Patty Hill. Apparently it took two people to write that song. Now I think it's in the public domain now, but it's wild to me how many of those songs, because you can clearly see on my DVD like what's VHS and what's ripped from a DVD, and they did a great job of like blending them and everything. But to lose that whole song with the bear and a snowman sing Sleigh Ride, it like that's one of the best scenes in the movie, and it's super pivotal to like Fozzie's whole story, and it's so tragic to think that there are people out there that have only seen that. This is one of those kinds of things that it breaks my heart that more people don't know about. I was just telling another friend about it today, and she was like, "I've never heard of this." And I was like, "What the fucking tragedy?" Because you should. It's so good. It's super fun, and it's not as good a movie as Muppet Christmas Carol, but it is just one of those. You can tell this was a passion project. You could tell like every ounce of this was made with love. And that stupid Icy Patch joke is so funny.
Yeah, I was shocked that I had never seen this or didn't know about this. And there were parts of it where I was like watching it and I was like, oh, maybe I have seen this, and I don't know, a couple scenes in it became evident like, nope, I've definitely never seen this. Like I thought maybe it was a thing where like parts of it had been used in other Muppet things, but like, quickly I learned like this was all new to me. I was shocked that I had no knowledge of it till now. Like it's very sad.
Oh man, that scene with Henson at the end. And like it makes no sense if you don't know who he is. But like for those of us that do, like when he's just, it makes me happy. I like it when they're all happy, and then he just goes and does the dishes with Sprocket. That gets me every time. I just love that scene. It makes absolutely no sense. But
I got so curious. It makes me want to maybe watch it again and pay closer attention. Because I'm wondering when they had those big scenes, big shots with all the Muppets singing, like at the end, and like at the end it was so many Muppets that they didn't all fit in one shot. Like there was a shot and a reverse shot. And I almost wonder if it was like strategic where they put everybody, because now you had 3 different franchises, which probably had Jim Henson and Frank Oz and all of those people voicing, you know what I mean? Like Jim Henson is Ernie, but then he's also Kermit, and he's also Rolf, so I kind of am curious, like, did they have to really work
Break
hard
into
to not
teams.
put those people in the same scenes as each other?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Couldn't possibly love it more. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. I mean, I figured there was no way you wouldn't. You have a heart.
Can I tell you another thing about it that just warmed my heart?
Please do.
I loved that Elmo was in it and didn't say a fucking word.
This was pre-Elmo ruining Sesame Street.
I loved that he was just a background Muppet singing carols, and that he didn't have any dialogue. That was a nice feature.
Hard agree.
I did not realize how old Elmo was until I saw this last year. Because he wasn't, when we were kids, apparently he was there, and I just didn't realize it. He was not
He wasn't a main character. He was a background character. They didn't really know what to do with
I
him.
think in the beginning he was just like Red Monster,
Yeah.
Or like Baby Monster or something like that. Like
I have no recollection of him from when I was a child. I did not realize he was in it, but then I watched this, and there he is. So I'm like, well, he clearly must have been bouncing around Sesame Street all the way back then. I just didn't know him.
And again, with American Eagle, Sam the Eagle, having all right, when the 2-headed monster was Santa Claus, and he just goes, "Is nothing sacred?" And then there's just one of the best gags ever, just bar none. Barometers falling sharply.
that was good, yeah.
It's so stupid and it's so funny. Absolutely love that. Oh boy. Yeah, I think that's all I've got. I'm so glad we got to do this. We got to talk about these. I'm so glad you've finally seen this and it's part of your life now. If I can turn even one person on to tracking this down and seeing it who's never seen it before, then I've done my job. Spreading the gospel of Muppet Family Christmas.
Yeah, this was great. It was it lived up to the hype. You guys were like, "Don't tell him anything about it." And I was like, what is this going to be? And like, yeah, I'm glad you didn't say anything. It met my expectations and then exceeded them.
I love the physical effect of the Fraggles and everyone handing that pebble back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I keep looking at like, all right, how exactly did they do that? Like they swapped hands. One of them had the pebble in it or something. And I was just always happy to see the Fraggles. I was obsessed with Fraggle Rock so much. And I thought they handled that really well. It was because there's no real good way to not have them segmented off because of the nature of Fraggle Rock. But like just having Robin and Kermit stumble on a Fraggle hole is, oh yeah, you see these things around, you never know where they're going to show up. Like, okay. And then at the end, Uncle Traveling Matt's just standing there singing carols with everybody. And beautiful. All right, we should wrap this up. It's getting kind of late.
You're kind of late.
Yes, I am. So we are going to be taking a month off. We're going to take January off, and then we'll be back in February. We'll be starting the alphabet all over again with the letter A. Does everybody have their picks?
Is that what letter starts the alphabet?
I thought we were going to do a number one.
Did you come with a number one, Sean?
I came with a number one.
Oh, man.
Okay.
But we could do it. Wait, just give me 2 seconds. I can do an A.
Paul and I were joking about doing numbers instead of letters, but
We did a number one last.
we did a number.
What the
This
hell
time we
do?
did a Christmas one instead of a number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we were agreed on.
I didn't remember. Thought we were just taking it off. Okay.
Well, while Sean's picking, we'll talk about our picks for A.
Sure.
So I'm going to make a pick that is a movie that I've never seen before, that you are probably going to be kind of upset that I've never seen it before. But my pick is Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh, okay.
Never seen Adventures in Babysitting?
Yeah, never seen it.
Well, if we pick that one, I'll have some good stories about it.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have anything more to say. I've never seen
You've
it
never
before.
seen it, so how would you have any more to say about it?
Yeah, I was this close to... I don't know why that one got past me. I was looking through Evan's Plex, and I was like, well, I guess I'm picking Aquaman, because I've never seen that before. But I've never seen it pretty intentionally. So, yeah, Adventures in Babysitting. That's my pick.
It's also got my girlfriend Elizabeth Shue in it, who I always have to play when I'm playing the Karate Kid game.
Why wouldn't you?
Sean, I forget, did you come back and finish Karate Kid with us, or was it just me, Paul, and Greg?
That was just you and Paul and Greg. You finished it?
We did, and we finished it off.
Good work.
We figured out there was an easy mode.
You did,
because we got crap kicked out of us by those, what were the doormen or whatever they were?
Yeah,
Doorman Paul or something.
You didn't miss anything, Sean. We beat those doormen, and then there was like one more. There's like one more level after that, and you kind of had to like go through the karate tournament and like fight almost everybody, and then Oh, did we have to fight Terry Silver? Did Sean miss that?
Yeah, he missed fighting the ghost Terry Silvers and stuff.
You had to fight the ghost of Terry Silver?
No, he made like all these apparitions of himself.
Yeah, he could.
The game was weird.
He could turn into more than one Terry Silver. He didn't do that laugh from Karate Kid 3, which was a bummer.
All right.
Anyway, Paul, what's your pick?
It's weird, but I got one.
So my pick is I probably saw this movie not too long after it came out. I'm gonna guess it came out in like 2011 or 2012 or something like that. I think I saw it on I think I was like in a hotel, and it was like there was nothing to do, and I was just watching like the free HBO in the hotel, and I just happened to watch this movie because it was on, and I kind of enjoyed it, and I have revisited it a couple times since. The movie is called Accepted, and it's about some guys that don't get into college, and then they make up a fake college so that they can show their parents that they got into college, and then they set the auto response on the website wrong, so anybody that found the website and applied also got into this fake college, so then they have to run a fake college.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like hijinks.
It was college hijinks, and I thought it was pretty funny.
And I don't mean to embarrass you, Paul, but isn't the word accepted spelled with an E?
I think that's a different accepted. No, it's just spelled with an A.
I can't believe you checked.
Don't try.
I don't know how to
trick
spell
me.
any words. I don't know how to spell any words.
We're talking to the guy whose keyboard was missing letters.
I know, right?
All right. I'm going to go with one that I don't think I've ever seen, but maybe I have, and it'll all come back to me if we watch it. It probably would have been more appropriate 2 months ago, but that's not when we got to A, so it is what it is. Every Thanksgiving, I dutifully listen at least once, usually 3 or 4 times, thanks to WMMR, to Alice's Restaurant. There is a full 2-hour movie.
Really?
Alice's Restaurant.
Is it good?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just said I don't think I've ever seen it.
Huh.
Starring, what's his name? Arlo? Is it Arlo Guthrie? I get this.
Yeah, Arlo Guthrie wrote Alice's Restaurant.
Arlo Guthrie is Alice, and then his dad is
Woody Guthrie. Yep.
Oh boy.
He did America the Beautiful. This land is your land. This land is my land.
Lots of folk tunes.
Lots of folk.
Boy, this is a tough one. I'm
But yeah.
genuinely curious by Alice's Restaurant, but Accepted sounds pretty fun.
And what's your pick again, Chris? Oh,
Adventures in Babysitting. Okay. I think I've made my choice.
As soon as I find the text.
Blue leader standing by.
Old leader standing by.
When you guys say go, I'm just going to yell it out. I can't find the text thread.
Fair enough.
Ready?
All right. Ready, set, go. There it is. Adventures in Babysitting it is. All right, everybody. We're going to be watching Adventures in Babysitting. I'm excited because I've never seen it.
Plenty of time to watch it. No
Yes, we
rush
do.
on this.
Yeah.
In fact, wait a little while.
Take
This
an
way
extra
it's fresh
month.
in your memory.
Yeah. Take January to go back and re-listen to some old episodes. Watch Zardoz a couple of times. Go out of your way to specifically not watch Zardoz. Whatever makes you happy.
Oh, and just so people don't have to kill themselves trying to find that, I meant to say this before, we were talking about that Muppet
Family Christmas?
I found that on YouTube pretty easy. I don't know that it was the full version or if it was missing that song now, but it comes up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's probably the full version because it's on YouTube. If it was on Disney Plus, it'd be all like, oh, we're very concerned about rights.
Oh, right. And Paul, you bought that. It was the Muppet Christmas Carol. I watched it free on Disney. I mean, because I have Disney.
I don't have Disney.
I have Disney. Oh.
But it was $5. So I think it was.
I don't have Apple.
I think it was $5 well spent.
Anyways, that's our show. Theater Near You is a part of the Geekade Podcast Network, and if you'd like to get in touch with us to share your comments, movie suggestions, or whatever, you can send us an email at mail@geekade.com. We can also be found on most social media outlets and the official Geekade Discord server, all of which can be found in our show notes. If you'd like early access to this podcast and several others on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out the Geekade Patreon, linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running and our site shiny and clean. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time in a theater near you.
And thanks for getting all the way through 2 full rounds of the alphabet with us.
Yeah, seriously. Good work.
Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless us, everyone.
You practice and rehearse.
Then all that work is paying off, 'cause Scrooge is getting worse.
Every day, in every way, Scrooge is getting worse.
Oh boy. The time flies. Look at this. I've got to go.
Humbug.